Sega.
As I said last time, this is my favourite game of all time. If it wasn't for this game, I don't know if I'd still be playing video games. I don't know where I'd be with my life. A lot of what I want to do has come from this game being as good as it is. I'm here at uni trying to become a game developer, and I don't think I would be there if it wasn't for this game. So, if you've come here expecting some kind of hate fest, you're just not getting it. For years I saw people hate this game. Hate it because of the combat, because of the fucking werehog, and I just didn't understand it. But now that I'm older, I completely understand it. This is going to be a very personal episode for me, and thank you all for watching. Let's begin. The story of Sonic Unleashed begins in space with one of the best looking cutscenes of all time. It's Sonic versus Eggman's entire army of robots, and it's just great. Eggman comes out in a giant machine firing every bullet, Sonic's just quickly avoiding them. It comes to a point where it looks like Eggman's gonna win. And then Sonic pulls out the 7 Chaos Emeralds and goes super. Eggman's forced to retreat, forced to run, and he runs into an egg station that's shaped like a penis. But once in there, Eggman springs a trap on Sonic, trapping him inside this machine that pulls the Chaos Emeralds, ripping them from his body, making him scream in pain as it charges up a cannon that splits the world into multiple pieces. And the negative energy from the Chaos Emeralds and Dark Gaia, this being of untold destruction that's just come from the earth, it melds together to create the Werehog, a conceptually stupid form. From there, Eggman shoots Sonic out into the vacuum of space. Title card. Once landing on Earth after having been saved by a mysterious green orb, Sonic lands on Chip, a small creature of unknown origins who has no memory at all and is just great. Sonic and Chip's relationship in this game feels good. It's not limited to just the cutscenes either.
Looks like things have gotten pretty ugly.
Yeah, look at those teeth and those claws. What's your name anyway?
I'm Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog. And you are?
Huh? What is my name? Ah, I don't know. I can't remember.
What? You forgot who you are?
Yup. I remember something falling from the sky. And everything just going all white. And then nothing. I can't remember a thing past that.
Uh-oh. Did I fall on him?
At this point, Sonic discovers that he is in fact the Werehog. He takes a look around himself, tries to figure something out, and then as the sun rises, he returns to normal.
Huh? Huh?
After the first stage, they come across the town where they both agree to try and help Chip find his memory, and their friendship continues to blossom.
So, is this what you usually look like?
Yeah. This is the real me. Pretty cool, huh? Huh? Where'd you go?
Oh.
Looks good, don't it? That there chocolate chip cream sundae supreme is the pride of the city. The whole world can come tumbling down, but they'll still line up for a taste.
Hey! What about your memories?
Chocolate chip sundae supreme.
You said it. Enjoy it, kiddo. Satisfaction guaranteed. If you don't love it, you get your money back.
Hey!
Oh, I love it. Wow, this chip whatever stuff is great.
If you say so. How about you give me a hand and help look for somebody who knows you, Chip?
Chip?
Gotta call you something, don't I? What do you think?
Yeah, Chip. Chip. I love it. Yum.
Now, what do you say we start asking around and see if anybody here knows you?
Okay.
But as the day goes on, Lake can't seem to find anybody who knows him, and as the sun sets, he becomes the werehog again.
Whoa. Mr. Monster Guy is back.
So when the sun goes down, I turn into this?
Are you okay, Sonic?
I'm fine. I just need to be careful who sees me like this.
The pair learn that Tails is lost somewhere in the city and they go to find him, coming across Dark Gaia creatures and Eggman robots as they do. But once having found Tails, Tails immediately gets into action. Sure, he's a little timid, he's a little cowardly, but he's still straight into action, helping Sonic the best way he can. Through this, they head to Spigoni where they find Professor Pickle has been kidnapped.
What? Professor Pickle's been kidnapped?
It was a little bit before the tremors hit. This old man showed up with a whole pack of robots. They carried poor Professor Pickle off, lab data and all.
It can't be.
That sure sounds like Eggman.
What a horrible thing to do. We've got to go help that professor guy out, and fast. If he got kidnapped that long ago, he's got to be real hungry by now. And if I was that hungry, I don't know how long I would last. I'd rather be dead.
I'm sure Eggman is feeding him. Even he's not that cruel.
And is in Missouri. One night stage later, or if you're on the Wii version, a single cutscene, they free Professor Pickle and are being told the lore of Dark Gaia, how it grows in the center of the Earth for millions of years before bursting out and destroying the planet. However, since Eggman awoke it before it was ready, it has collapsed under its own weight, meaning they have time to recharge the Chaos Emeralds. From here, the story takes a back seat as it's just about going around the world and getting the planet back together. Come later on in the story, however, they found out that Chip is Light Gaia, a being meant to fight the force of Dark Gaia, and he tries to go off on his own. He has no reason to think Sonic needs to stay and help him anymore, but
Day and light, and guide the planet to its rebirth. My job was to protect the planet from Dark Gaia. But Eggman broke the world apart himself, and Dark Gaia and I were awakened before we should have been. That's why Dark Gaia broke apart, and I didn't know who I was. I didn't remember what I was supposed to do. All because this isn't the proper time of awakening.
Time of awakening?
Dark Gaia grows over millions of years, then rises to destroy the world. And I put it all back together. We've been doing this over and over, again and again, since the very beginning of time.
So you were asleep all this time? For millions of years?
Yes, for ages and ages.
I bet it's thanks to you. Even at night when I'm like this, I'm still myself, not like all the other people we've seen. You must have been protecting me this whole time.
I haven't done anything, Sonic. You're the reason you haven't changed at all. You're too strong to lose yourself.
I'm the reason?
Yeah, you never doubt yourself, no matter what. You never give in to the night or the darkness inside your heart. I think it's because I knew that about you. That's why I wanted you to help me. It's been so fun, getting to see the world. I've lived here since the planet began, but I didn't know a thing about it. That it's so pretty, or that food tastes so good, or that people are so nice. I'm so glad I got the chance to discover all that with you, and I'm so glad that you helped me find my memory. Sonic, I will never, ever forget you. Thank you, Sonic. Goodbye, friend.
Hey!
Whoa, what?
Where do you think you're off to all by yourself?
What? But my memory is back now, and, well, from here on out, it's my responsibility, so, I mean, there's no reason for you to come along, so I should just...
Do I need a reason to want to help out a friend?
Thanks, Sonic.
Yeah!
This takes them to Eggman Land. In Eggman Land, they found that the final temple is buried deep under Eggman Land, so they have to rip it down in the biggest, most climactic final stage of any Sonic game. Once reaching the temple, they attempt to fix the floating piece of Earth, but Eggman comes breaking in, has finally had enough of this rivalry, and is going all out. Even Sonic's having to tell him to calm down.
The ground's breaking up!
Jeez, Eggman, simmer down!
But it's too late. Dark Gaia has been rebuilt, he's been reformed.
What? It's Dark Gaia.
Yes, Dark Gaia! Crush this insolent little hedgehog! Kick him to the outer limits of space!
Sonic, what's wrong? Sonic, you've got to get up! Sonic!
And now it's up to Sonic and Chip to stop this thing. Chip calls on the power of the Power Rangers and assembles a giant Gaia Colossus. Meanwhile, Sonic has to run along the sides of it, attacking the eyes while Chip is forced to fight the thing one-on-one. However, as time goes on and Dark Gaia manages to recomplete himself to full power, Sonic goes super, leading to one final boss battle. Sure, Chip does most of the fighting back there, but when push comes to shove,
And after 50 of the most heart-wrenching X presses I've ever pressed in my life, outside of mobile game apps,
Sonic rams right through Dark Gaia, killing it. But he's overexerted. He's tired. He loses his super form and he falls down. Chip grabs him and sees the final piece of the planet falling into place. And knowing he's not going to see Sonic ever again, he throws Sonic into the atmosphere, Sonic landing in the same place around Portos where he did last time. Now having Chip's bracelet, he runs off, ready for whatever the next day brings. This story is heartfelt, it knows when to slow down, and it knows when to take itself seriously. If I replay this game, and I replay this game a fair bit, I'm watching the cutscenes. Sonic feels pretty well realized in this game. If I had to compare him to any other Sonic game, I'd say Frontiers, as they seem to be written very similarly. However, something I did forget to mention is that Amy is also here, but she's very insignificant. So, our core main cast of characters is Sonic, Professor Pickle, Chip, and Tails. That's it. No big overarching cast, no 17 stories to keep track of, it's just Sonic and Chip go save the world. It's exactly what was needed after the mess of Sonic 06 and Sonic and the Secret Shits. I'd say Jason Griffith and the English voice cast from 4Kids are at their best here. Overall, this is just a good story. A good, simple story. It's not complex, but it doesn't lead too hard into the comedic side of things, and its overall message is just... there isn't an overall message. It's just Sonic making a new friend and eventually having to say goodbye. But this is still a video game at the end of the day. So, are we dealing with a billion different playstyles like we were before? No, we have just two. We have daytime and nighttime. Daytime Sonic is what we've come to know as the Boost formula. He retains a lot of his moves from the Adventure era. the homing attack, the light dash, the air dash, but he's also got a few new abilities such as the drift, the stomp, and the boost. By holding the X button, Sonic shoots off at just fantastical speeds, and this is great. The level design here really complements it, as the developers had to go out of the way to make extremely long levels that you rush by, but it never feels like there's something that's out of place that they just half-assed. And you know, Potus is a great starting level, Missouri has a lot of drifting tutorials, they've got some good 2D sections, and is just overall fun. Cool Edge is possibly one of the best ice levels in the series. It's got a bobsled mechanic, it's got ice physics that don't affect you too much, it's great. Rooftop Run, now this is the Sonic level. If I think of Sonic the Hedgehog, I'm thinking of Green Hill, or I'm thinking of Rooftop Run. Dragon Road is fine, it's like the first one I'd actively call not great. It's good, but it shows a lot of the flaws with the platforming in this game, since Sonic doesn't control great when at lower speeds. When you're moving at a million miles per hour, he feels fantastic other than the drifting, which fucking sucks. But when moving slowly and on small platforms, he doesn't control well. But it's got a lot of spectacle, a lot of fast-paced running action, and hell, some sections where you run across water. Arid Sands is another great level, so much spectacle, so much flying over canyons. I wouldn't be surprised if this was the inspiration for some of Frontier's Ares Island. Empire City has literally no plot in the story, but it is a great level for Sonic. It's mostly grinding focused and trying to not fall off cliffs into bottomless pits. And for being the second to last speech stage, it's great. Jungle Joyride is where you're going to notice this game was not made for the Xbox 360 or PS3. The frame rate here chugs. But it's the most difficult level here, outside of, you know, Dragon Road for its control issues. But overall, we have a great set of daytime stages. And of course, the hub worlds. Sonic controls really good in the hub worlds, like he has a different moveset attached to him. But given this world's focus on being a world adventure, as is the Japanese style, this game needed to have hub worlds. There was no way around it. Each of the hub worlds are small, concise, and very clear places you're meant to go. Great! Each one helps bring a liveliness to the town, and Empire Cities just fucking makes my 360 explode. Except when I figured out what does it, it's the damn fountain. Now we have to talk about the nighttime levels, and you know what guys, they're good. They're not this massive, over-the-top platforming action game, but for being a one-game gimmick, it's good. Sure, early on in stage, like in the Apophis levels and the Missouri level, it's fine, you know? They're a little long, they can be a little boring. But the further on you go, the more in-depth and complex they get, and the more fun I start to have. I mean, Rooftop Run and Cool Edge are some of the best levels for the Werehog. Arid Sands Night is... I don't know what to think about this one. You know, Jungle Joyride Night, this is possibly the best one. It's the best designed one, it has the most amount of things to do in it, it has a ton of variety. It's great. Empire Cities levels focus on being over a giant city. One false move leads to your death, and you can't rely on hanging onto the side of object, as they're spikes. You'll get thrown off if you try to hang onto them. And I guess that leads me into the combat, which... if they were going to do combat, I'm glad they did it this way with stretchy characters. Because for as little sense as the Werehog's stretchy arms make, they make for great platforming and great combat. For the combat, you have your close range attacks, you have your long range attacks, you have your aerial attacks, you have combos. And hell, the later on in the game you get, and the more combos you unlock, the better it is. The problem is, you can't just unlock combos, you have to also focus on other stats because this has RPG elements. Are you kidding me, Sonic and the Secret Shits? We just talked about this. It's better in this game, they don't lock away, say, better control behind it. But you do have to actively upgrade your life and strength if you want to survive the later levels. Meaning you can't unlock your combos all the way. Meaning that it's just not going to feel as good as it could. And then there's the other gates to progression, the Sun and Moon levels. These only ever presented a problem once to me, but I've been playing this game since 2008 and replay it yearly, if not sometimes monthly. It's never a problem for me anymore, but I understand why it's such a big problem for a lot of people. The boss fights are great. Like the daytime boss fights take after Heroes and Advance 2 of rushing down a corridor to fight the enemy. Could be a little better, but for a first attempt with a boost formula, I think it's great. The Werehog ones, you just beat the shit out of the enemies and uppercut them, throw them through walls and shit. It's great. As for the visuals, I mean, look at this! This is still the best looking Sonic game, even after with Frontiers and Team Sonic Racing coming out. The only other ones that I would argue come close to it are Team Sonic Racing and Sonic Forces for a few select levels that aren't Green Hill. So like, what, 3 of them in that game? But like I mentioned before, look at this frame rate. I think I've got like, what, 7 frames here? Goddamn. Another thing to take note of in terms of presentation is music. I mean, fucking listen to this! It's great. This is my favorite game of all time. Hell, Eggman Land, right? That level a lot of people don't like, but I fucking love it. I will sometimes replay Eggman Land on its own because it's a good level, it's just long. But for being the final gauntlet and this thing that Eggman's been saying he's gonna make since 1998, it's the bloodbath you'd expect it to be. It's tough, it has a gimmick where you switch between Sonic and the Werehog. Oh, I love this game so much. It's just a good game. I can see why it got the hate it did at launch, but I'm so glad to see people coming back and just talking about how much they love it because it's a good game. Always has been. And the people who were trying to argue it isn't were just burnt out on Sonic. Why do you think Sonic took a break there for a while? The franchise desperately needed it. I'm 100% willing to bet this game would have been received better if it didn't come 2 years after Sonic 06, 1 year after Sonic and the Secret Rings, 3 years after Shadow. If they had just taken a year off, then we may not be in the predicament we're in right now. Thank you all for listening to me ramble on about this game I love so much, and next time we're covering Sonic and the Black Knight, another one of my favourite games of all time. But until then, take care. Bye!